is my second attempt. I think what happened is my camera died or something. Something funky happened that I wasn't prepared for. In any case, we're back. It's Conception Mechanism 3. We're doing some writing today. This is, again, like, this whole process is brand new to me. So me explaining my process is going to be a little bit funky, I think. But we're going to do our best to go through it. I'm going to grab my lovely pink guitar that I painted many years ago. This is actually my first electric guitar. I don't really have a process of choosing which instrument I'm using. I'm just like, which one do I want to use? Ooh, I probably shouldn't do that. I did do tuning off camera as well, just because it's easier for me to do it off camera. I don't know how to tune manually, so I just use my phone for it. For those of you out there who don't know how to tune either, I'm in solidarity with you. Because I'm not classically trained in how to play guitar, and I don't necessarily like have an idea as far as what I want to write before I start going. I just pick up an instrument and start playing it however I like, and like whatever feels best and like whatever sounds best, to get like an idea of where like my fingers might want to go for what I'm playing. So when I'm going through that process, I'll do my best to explain that as well. I'm going to be using Cubase today. That's typically what I'll use to when I'm writing music, mixing, mastering, all that type of stuff. Again, it's probably not optimized for all of those things, but that's just what I know how to use the system for. So I'll pop over to Cubase here. I'm hoping the video playing below this isn't too distracting, but in any case, I've got my Cubase window open. I've already added a guitar track in here, so you can see it labeled up here. I've got it monitored right now. I'm going to try not to get into too much of the nitty gritty of like, here's technically what's happening. I think it's more like my music writing process, decision making stuff. So if there are specific questions and I can answer them, please like comment, I suppose, or like reach out and let me know, and ask me like, hey, what's this specific thing you're talking about? I don't really know what you mean. And I'll do my best to answer it in the way that I know how to answer it. You'll also notice I'm using a different mic today because I'm monitoring live my guitar out loud. Part of my process, I like to hear what's going on. It's probably not going to be as loud as I typically have it because I'm insane and I usually play my music really loud. So not just my music, but like all music. So what I'm about to do is put a capo on my guitar. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm very used to like, I feel like inevitably default to some old stuff that I've written, and it's hard not to go back to. So like, that sort of thing. I would rather is basically that. There's a couple other songs that I kind of default to that. So I feel like for ease of use and because I haven't written in a while, let's like throw the capo. I just like throwing it on a random spot on the guitar, just to kind of change things up for myself. So we'll throw it on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th fret down. So, and what I'm doing is just putting my hands on a random part of the guitar. So I'm going to get rid of my chair for a second. Where did I put my pick? Ah, it's blending it. Okay. So I'm going to try and show this as best I can, okay? So I just put my hand on a random part of the guitar. So what I'm doing is just kind of playing through and putting my hands down to see what sounds good to me. It kind of sounds insane. Let's see, where was I at originally? Kind of dig that. Just repeating that. And I didn't have this prepared before, so I'm just kind of messing around. I kind of like that structure immediately, so I'm kind of going... and then sliding down a couple of frets. And then getting rid of my index finger and kind of... and then moving up one. And then coming back to that. So it's kind of like a 4-step sort of. And then, so now that I've got kind of a base for what I want to go from, I'll jump over to Cubase now and like start maybe adding effects to the guitar. If you've ever listened to my music, it's very reverb heavy and sometimes distortion heavy. It kind of depends on the mood. I'm thinking this is more of like a soft vibe, maybe. So what I'm going to do is just open up Guitar Rig. And again, I'm not going to go too specific into like how to use Cubase because again, I probably use it way different than most people use it. But essentially I have Cubase labeled in my inserts I have Guitar Rig labeled in my inserts in Cubase. So I'm going to open this up. Excuse me. I probably do some weird stuff here where I'm just kind of selecting my delay and echo. And psych delay, that's kind of one of my favorites to use. So I typically will throw a couple in there and mess with some timing. Feedback, that's a little bit tough to mess with too much because I tend to put so many delays on top of each other that it tends to be a problem as I add more and more and more. Tape echo. I have one of these in person. I'm not using any live pedals just because I don't want to. It's hard to explain and like show those things. Like if I'm messing with those in person, in the future I'll probably do that. But so I'll put some tape echo in there, and also word to the wise. Test out how it sounds as you're going, I suppose, because it might play like kind of get into a good spot, but it's also like, where do you want it to be? So as you're going, it's probably smart to kind of look at it and see, okay, where are we at? Is it something that's sounding good to me so far? Okay, that's kind of sounding good. So just because I've written something as like, I was strumming a little bit harder earlier, that I feel like that doesn't mean necessarily that something might not change. So what I was just doing is just kind of strumming really fast to kind of get to kind of play into the delays that I've got up right now. Okay. Let me keep adding stuff. Let's try some reverb. I feel like I always default to in the reflector reverb built into Guitar Rig the cathedrals, and then just picking sometimes I mess with it and put it in a different spot in the turn order. It feels like it's really feedbacky. Let's turn the feedback down a little bit. Okay, so I've got 3 delays on in different spots of my Guitar Rig. It's not quite staying long enough for what I'm looking for. Maybe I do turn the feedback up just slightly. Okay. I don't know what the... I have like a setting coming up here and I don't know really what's going on. Okay. So I'm thinking I add one more piece here. Turn my feedback down a little bit. Maybe decay up slightly. I'm noticing that I feel like this is this is something I've written before. I don't know where or when, but like yeah. Anyways, I feel like I'm seeing that. Okay, let's do a take as I drop my pick. Okay, so I'll just start recording. I feel like typically when I'm recording, I'll start really, really quietly. So I think for this take, that's what I'll do is start really quietly and kind of ease in to being a little bit louder. Let's make sure I'm at the beginning here. All right. Kind of easing into it a little bit. Kind of feeling like coming back out of that a little bit and like leaving people waiting. Oh, I like that in between note. Start easing back up. These swells, really dig these swells. Thinking I need to go somewhere random next that I haven't kind of explored yet on guitar. And that might flop or it might do well. I feel like for me, the writing process it's helpful to do something really fucking random sometimes. It's a little bit ominous. Now that I went somewhere a little bit weird, come back to what we're used to. And this will probably be shorter than what typically I'm used to, so. And knowing me, I like ending on like a really ominous. Never mind, decided to change it. He's out of that take. Okay. Slowly so I don't mess up my take here. Okay. There's one take. Lovely. Okay, I'm feeling like there needs to be some heavier guitar. Heavier guitar. So dumb. Okay, so again, this one's just... Okay, find my guitar rig 6. That's how long it's been since I've used Cubase, is that I can barely find this anymore. Okay. And maybe let's start with some distortion. It's very loud. Apologies. Okay, so let's try that, and then we'll throw some delays on top of that. Okay, feedback. Let's not. Okay. And then a couple of reverbs. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much I'm feeling that. Yeah, I like having delay on the. Yeah, again, I'm not super stoked about that. Kind of want to hear where this was at. I'm realizing that may have gotten really loud. I apologize. Sometimes also what I like doing is if it kind of seems like so what oh boy, I'm just doing all sorts of stuff here. Sometimes what I like to do is just duplicate my layer here just to see like what it sounds like if I add different effects on top of it for the same sort of thing. So like bass or I don't know, like lower level frequency stuff. You know, maybe that's what makes the most sense. Boy. Okay. Thinking about what I want to add next. Another difficult thing about not writing for a very long time, as well as having many different instruments, like it seems like it'd be a nice problem to have, but it's kind of like what, what do you decide to play, um, and what do you decide to record with? I think I'm gonna just stick with the guitar. I feel like what I want to do is add my voice on top of this and then just um have that be the background and like what's happening. But that's going to be tough with recording. Maybe we do some piano. Maybe piano is where it's at. Yeah? And And then it's helpful to play it out loud again for myself so that I can see what's... You know what? Maybe we do the organ. Yeah, maybe we do the organ. I think that's where we do. Oh, I'm going to have to find this real fast, though. Maybe it won't work. So I bought this... you can't see it very well, but I bought this electronic... It's so dusty. I bought this electronic organ on shopgoodwill.com, which, by the way, is super addicting. Don't do it if you're like, oh... I need to stay on a budget and like not buy a bunch of instruments. I will say it is a cheaper option of like, instead of like going to Guitar Center or something and like buying a new guitar, a MIDI piano or something. So I got this for like $30 on Shop Goodwill. And it's like the coolest. It's so cool. It's really cool. But I need to find my chord real fast. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, I should have prepared that before. Oh, you know what? I might be able to find it real fast. Cool. No, I've got so much random, like, music stuff that it's, like, impossible to find everything sometimes. Yeah, let's not fuck around with it. Yeah. Let's just do piano instead. So what I like to do from time to time... Probably can't hear me, is record on my piano with the sound going to, I don't know, sort of make it work with what with what I'm recording. I don't know if it makes sense just for this video, just to show like my process. So maybe instead what we'll do is take a listen to this guitar again and see if it makes sense to... Oh man, I'm realizing that this might be hard to see for everyone. Let me duplicate, mess around with... So what's nice about duplicating is that I can just open up what I have originally. It's the same stuff here, but I can mess around with how it sounds while it's going. So this is a second one, and if I was to add, I don't know if I was liking that. Oh, thinking I fade it in a little bit, so that's what I'm doing. Okay. Another problem with my music is that it's so long form that it's like, all right, we're sitting and waiting for like things to happen. I also don't want it to overtake the other one, so let me go into EQ here. Alright, that's kind of a nice bass there. While I have that playing, I'm going to see if I can find... Oh boy. Find some recordings. Oh, I might actually have one on my phone. I tend to do voice memos and just like record stuff, like nature and that sort of stuff. Kind of liking the tonality of that so far. What I'm doing is just listening to this is a piano recording I'm listening to right now. Okay. I'm seeing that this is running 37 minutes long now. So what we're going to do, that's kind of the basics of where I'll at least start for writing a song. So it's like kind of choosing the guitar, or I suppose the instrument if we peel back, choosing the instrument, picking it up, kind of putting my fingers to it, some cases putting a capo on it to kind of decide what tonality I'm looking for. None of what we went over today was pre-written. We just kind of did it on the fly a little bit, and just wrote something nice. It's a nice thing about like ambient or my style of music is that it doesn't it doesn't have to be anything crazy and perfect, and I don't have to be like amazingly good at playing guitar. It's more just like, oh, what sounds good, like what what sequencing is working and maybe what's not, and that's kind of maybe those first few kind of, okay, wait, this kind of is nice, maybe this isn't as nice, sort of thing. I know it was a little bit scatterbrained, but looking back just to a couple of minutes ago of me like deciding, should I have a guitar? Should I not have a guitar? Like, what's my second piece going to, like, what's the second line going to be? What am I missing here? What do I need to add? Those sorts of things. So I'll probably let this one be for now and have it be something I come back to in a couple of days. I'm not used to doing that either. I've only done that a small handful of times with pieces like this. Just to both give it air as well as do a second video on finishing it and like what else I've come up with to figure out what's left. So, all right. Well, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Again, if you have any questions or anything, let me know in the comment section of YouTube. Besides that, I will see you next week. Have a lovely weekend.